Balancing everything has probably been the most challenging part of the course, more so for me than academic achievement. It's been trying to incorporate shift work, sometimes with not a great deal of notice about what your shift pattern's going to be if you're just about to start on a placement, with what does that mean for the family, what does that mean for the children, who's going to be there, can my partner pick them up, can I... Very, very practical issues. That's been the hardest bit, really. And I've found that as a mature student with a family, I have to do a lot of my academic work late at night when the children have gone to bed. And I think that's just something that I had to learn to deal with at first. I found it a struggle to fit everything in, but you get more philosophical about it and you find ways. And family help.
It's forward planning, really. I'm very lucky, my husband's very supportive, but it's also having several backup plans. I've got my husband does some childcare, I've got a childminder, and it's also having plan C, which, like this week when my daughter got scarlet fever, I then had to rope in my mum and dad to help out with childcare, because whilst I'm on placement, I really need to be on placement. So it's a lot of forward planning and trying to coordinate and make sure that I know who's doing what at what time and that the children know what's happening as well.
So I did find it a little bit difficult working Sundays at first, because I've never worked a Sunday in my life. And it wasn't nice, but, you kind of agree to do it because, you have to, really. But I wouldn't say that my social life has completely vanished since I've been at uni, because I still make time to do the things that I enjoy, because I think that's quite important, or else I think I'd have been quite unhappy by now. But with the workload, as the years have gone on, my time management got a lot better, and I can prepare in advance for things and get the books I need, and start early, so that I can get things in on time, and so that I'm not rushing last minute, which means I still have time to do the things I want. And obviously I always make sure I leave my Saturdays free, because I still have my part-time job.
To be a student it's very, very enjoyable. It's rewarding when you go on placement, very challenging. When you've got to have assignments done, you've got deadlines to meet, you've got to manage your time. Your friends are ringing up saying, do you want to go out tonight? Do you want to go for games? No, I can't. I'm on the computer. I'm doing research. Oh, come on. But it's got to be done. It's what I want to do. It's my future. And I've got to manage my time. It doesn't mean that I don't have a social life. And since I've been to university as well, I've met a lot of people. I've got a new circle of friends as well now. And we've got a lot in common as well, which does help. It's a very early start in the morning. You're at university or on placement. You've got to manage your time. So whether socialising or studying, which is the more important part, you've got to manage your time. Social-wise, yes, it does change, because where you can go out and stop out to 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, that ain't going to happen. You need to spend your time. That doesn't mean you stop socialising. You do, but everything in moderation.
I feel I have a new social circle being in university, again with my peers, which are all brilliant. Yeah, they're all supportive. So, not to say that I don't need them, I don't want my old social circle anymore, but it's still having both, even though I don't see them as often. I think I feel feels good.
The course can take over your life if you let it, and I think it's very important that you have interests outside of your nursing as far as you possibly can, even if it's just that you get a book that's, a bit trashy, and you just lie in the bath and have a relax and take your mind away from that nursing, because it can really get to you at times.
I must admit it's a huge commitment, because now I'm in my 3rd year. Yesterday was my last shift on the ward before I do my elective. And I came home, sat on the sofa, and I reflected. And I looked around and I thought, he's been on the back burner, my little boy has. I looked at my husband and I thought, yes, you have been on the back burner, but both of you have given me all the support I needed to see this course through. So it's been a big commitment. People have had to be on the back burners. My priority has had to be my workload, my course, but now I can reflect and see the success. So it's an achievement.
I think it gets easier as time goes on. Being a 3rd year now, it's a lot easier to incorporate being a student into my normal life, if you like. To start with, it's very important, it's very new, it's how's this going to work? I've got this to do, I've got that to do. You've got all these priorities. You're exhausted because it's new and strange and you're trying to do all these things and potentially get involved in things that are new to you, as well as the academic side of it. And I think to start with, things like the ironing used to get left, and some of the home duties slide a bit because it is your priority to make sure that you're going to get through and you're going to get things done. As time goes on, that gets easier because you kind of, I timetable, like I said, not strictly, but you say, right, well, actually, tomorrow morning, I've got no lectures, I've got a pile of ironing, I'll spend an hour doing the ironing. Other things, I've got children and there are things that they do at school that are a priority you have to go to, you have to take part in if you're going to maintain family life as well as your student life. So some of it is, you adapt as the time goes on.